I'm not bothered.
Hey agents, thanks for tuning into this one. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded anything, but Division 2 we got an update TU15 on Thursday. So I just want to show you this Heartbreaker set or two variations. So let's start off with the Specialization. The one I'm actually using is the Technician. The other, so I can have a linked laser pointer to put on, to attach to my weapons. And the other option we have is the Gunner. So you can have the Banshee talent, take a Banshee pulse. Okay, so I'm starting off with the mask. I only tested 2 masks on this. As you can see, I do not have the Casathas. That's why I'm not using it. The Chill-Out mask is one of them, because it comes with 2 mod slots. I have 142k armor here. I wish it was 170, but I have 6% crit chance, which I rolled on there, and I have 12% crit damage mods. The other option I used was the Coyote. Because okay, here we are, my first piece of Heartbreaker. 4-piece, preferably want to use it. I'm using the chest and the backpack. You don't have to, but for me this makes more sense. I enjoy running it this way. The 2-piece benefits is 15% assault rifle damage, 15% LMG damage, 3% gives you weapon handling, 4-piece gives you a heart stopper, headshots apply pulse for 5 seconds, weapon hits on pulse enemies at a stack of 1% bonus armor and 1% damage to pulse enemies up to a maximum of 50 stacks. 2 stacks are lost each second. So the more you actually hitting, landing your shots on the NPCs or the player, whatever the case may be, the better for you. 170k armor. I have crit chance 6% rolled on there and a crit chance mod. Why I'm using the chest piece here is because of the increase your max stacks for heart stopper from 50 to 100. It really makes a difference. You can have 100 stacks. It's it's a lot better to get it that way. As you see, they mentioned the pulse, so I'll just tell you about the pulse quickly. Okay, so for the pulse, you actually have a couple of options. I'm using the scanner pulse in here, in this build. I don't need to use it in this build that I have, but the scanner pulse is one way you can do it. The other way you can do it is via the linked laser pointer, which is why I'm running Technician, so I can equip those on the weapons. If your weapon cannot handle or can't take a linked laser pointer, maybe Eagle Bearer, Bulletking. I've tested with the Bulletking, works really well with this with Heartbreaker. Then you actually need a scanner pulse. The other option you have is a jammer pulse. You can use that as well. It will also pulse the NPCs. That's the other option you have. Or you can use the drone. You can either use a striker drone. It will pulse. And you can use this Tactician. Okay, for me the second piece of Heartbreaker which I have is the holster. 147k armor, crit chance of 6% rolled on there. My third piece of Heartbreaker, which is the knees, you don't have to use the knee pad, depending on what other pieces you have. If you're using what other pieces you have on here, you could actually use, you can swap out the glove, you can swap out the mask, whatever the case may be. You can actually use the fox sprayer. I just have 12% critical hit damage on here, which I rolled, and 140k armor. The other option, like I said, is the fox sprayer, really good to use on here. Okay, my fourth Heartbreaker piece is the backpack. I'm using it for the talent cold, increases total bonus armor granted per stack of heart stopper from 1% to 2%. That's actually what it does. So the bonus armor you get, it basically gets doubled if you use the backpack of Heartbreaker. You don't have to need to use the backpack. You can run a 4-piece, but you can use the memento. That's also very good. The glove I'm using is a contractor's glove. You don't have to use this. It just makes sense because I'm using an LMG. And why do you not want damage to armor? Because Countdown, the new mode, especially has a lot of elites in it. So contractor's gloves works really well for them. I have 15% weapon damage, 8% damage to armor there, critical damage you have on there. The first gun I'm using is the Kingbreaker assault rifle, 97.7k damage. It can be a lot more, but I'm running very little red on this build. 650 RPM, mag of 50, assault rifle damage 11.2%. Now I should actually farm for a better one, but 18% health damage, 10% damage to targets out of cover. Perfect Flatline is a talent here. It amplifies weapon damage by 20% to pulse enemies, which is why actually, which we will explain to you why I'm using it or why most people would want to use it. You can see my mods on the crit chance mod, 20 rounds, linked laser pointer, like I said, for the pulse. I don't need to use the scanner pulse in here, but using it anyway, so I can see where all the where all the NPCs are. So linked laser pointer. So I'm always pulsing if I'm aiming at the NPC. So Heartbreaker is always proccing. Crit chance there well. I'll move on to the second gun. Using is the Dare, the light machine LMG, the new LMG, named LMG. 65.1k total damage, RPM 750, mag 235. It comes with 200, but I put there at the bottom, by the linked laser pointer, I put on the large pouch, so extra 35 rounds. That's how I got to 235. Perfect Flatlines as well. It amplifies weapon damage by 20% to pulse enemies. I also want to farm for better Dare, maybe once a little bit more maxed out. I have 30% weapon damage, 9% damage to targets out of cover, and 5% damage to armor. I'm using a linked laser pointer on here. Like the other, you'll see in the gameplay, I use the Bulletking. That's the other option I add. Bulletking, you don't need to reload. That's basically why I was using it. It's a high RPM. Okay, on the stat screen I have Kingbreaker, 15% critical damage and 50% critical chance and 105 critical hit damage. And the D, I have 50% crit chance and 105 critical hit damage. And that's basically this build, this variation of the build. As he was running the Scorpio, and you can see those hunters this melting with the Scorpio. So the Scorpio, if you do not have it, I think it's in the general loot pool by now. I think so. You get it from exotic caches, the same like the new exotics. The septic shock, as you're applying hits to your NPC, I mean the takeaway here is that the 7 pellets, the target takes additional 20% damage from all sources. That's actually the power of this. So it debuffs, it poisons, it will poison the hunter, disorient, it will shock them, so they are shocked in place for a few seconds, they can't move, they can't do anything. So basically the septic shock of the Scorpio, it goes perfectly with the backpack I'm going to show you now. It's this new the setup for this new Uzina Ketika. I don't know if I'm saying, I'm probably murdering the pronunciation there, but basically that's one of the new named items. It comes with perfectly optimistic, so enemies you take 15% more damage from all sources for 5 seconds, but you need to use a marksman rifle or a shotgun, which is perfect for the Scorpio. So the Scorpio does a 20% debuff. The perfect optimistic adds another 15%, so that's a 35% increase in damage to the hunters. So everybody that shoots them will do 35% more damage. So you will see the hunters, they just melt in seconds basically. So you need someone to run this, to run the perfect setup with Scorpio. It makes the hunter encounters in Countdown especially makes it much easier or much simpler. So like I've said, you can swap out, you can even use the Memento backpack as well if you're running a solo player. So you can swap the pieces around, but most important, doesn't matter how you do it, you need a 4-piece Heartbreaker. Perfectly optimistic on here with the Scorpio. And then you can swap out, like I said, the contractors, Fox Sprayer, Chill Out Mask. If you have the Catharsis, use that instead. That's the ideal way to run it. You can run this old, you can run this bold or red as well. I just run it with 5 blues because that works for me. But yeah, basically that's the 2 versions of this build you can use. And I wish you all the best, and I'll catch you all in the next video, whenever that is. Cheers.